Good evening and welcome to Camnet TV Main News. To present, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Top stories in the news tonight. President EDGAR LUNGU describes himself as a humble leader serving Zambians. CHINSALI court convicts SESHEKE UPND MP for assaulting 2 gun-carrying police officers as court discharges a PF cadre via a NOLLE. NAWAKWI refuses to reconcile with named political leaders whom she accuses of being oppressive. In international news, 6 presidents plan urgent talks on Mozambique crisis. And in sports news, Volleyball Association increases the number of teams to its league from 13 to 16. We have more after this.
Are you a qualified, impartial and professional journalist, news editor, video editor or newscaster? Camnet TV is looking for more professionals in the media industry. For more details, call 0962 965883 or send your details to our email info@camnettvafrica.com. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Another news in detail. Some women of Lusaka's Kabanana compound involved in tailoring activities have lamented what they have termed as selective awarding of empowerment funds by those implementing them. According to the women, the much talked about empowerment funds have continued to elude them, hence wondering how others manage to access them. The Zambian government and the ruling Patriotic Front, PF, as a party, have been rolling out various empowerment programs aimed at uplifting people's lives. We have more in the following report.
It is worth noting that there are limited empowerment programs spearheaded by the government specifically on women, apart from schemes like the Girls' Education and Women's Empowerment and the Social Cash Transfer Program, among others. However, just like other empowerment programs, there has been an issue of politicization, hence not everyone benefits. As the saying goes, talent is sometimes not enough in order for one to make it big. This is the case for these women of Lusaka's Banana compound in Mandevu constituency. These women have opted not to remain idle while singing the song of unemployment, just like others do. They have been doing extraordinary things, but due to limited resources, they are unable to meet their needs and grow their businesses. This woman is able to sew clothes using a hand and a needle. This dress is just an example of what she can do.
Ironga ninsalufia yandi naitungira nemwine ndabachita maite kwacha
nga mwali kwete ishuko nango mwali kwete machine kuti mwabomba shani
mwaye kuti nabomba efintu turunga na kwete kwa shuko ya kwata machine nango ine dress na tungire fe kumeno hei badia na yali nsendera kwensta nalipusha kwati 2 weeks kaizi.
The only disadvantage is that it takes long for her to complete one dress. She's appealing to the government through the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services and the Ministry of Gender to help her own a sewing machine so that she can be able to grow a business.
So if inenga tuatunga tuashia vya fino tuasonkera kwa kayanda nga tuako kola limumpapi tanga kulwala tuwalwala fidia ninshikutu funya mungana so ndero mbako mkwayi banja fuirisha kodi mbi bampera kona ngunika machine kakwe batirimbi kuti nangukirwa ko kutunga ko bwangu utuntu kuchile finga kumino bantu ifingi shitunga fingi sana fyako bati kuti fyanjafu.
Meanwhile, this other woman of the same neighborhood is able to make fancy doormats, and she bragged of having the capacity to replicate any image, but just like her colleague, the capital is limited.
Ifisha kwata fya bakunga fwa kuti bantwala ko pantanshi alikuwa tete rantali akutunga kwena ero ntungira fe kukabilirwa fine kai kwa kutufu nyoli pia wa kutushite motu refu ayapata kuli nomba kanshi lese finali mpela kwetalanta datunga fe fine kwene ero nali mukashana na letunga no kurenga lemwe fe fine na lerenga kwati chapi cha kulenga nombe fina kulama inso kabiri aya bati ndapirikita konda wa fine ero nde nokuba pano ndi mulwere kwera pana ngo mulembo naliwala mungu nshenda nokwenda momlandu wakuti fifine chalo chaba chamena ameno nalikweta abana nomba bafu abamba balisha nabishukuru.
These women are among the many citizens who are not in tune with existing government and private sector-led empowerment programs. As the country holds general elections this year, more empowerment programs among political parties will be unveiled. But as usual, the right people may not benefit, hence making it work done equals to zero due to the politicization of governance, thus magnifying the perception and reflection of misplaced targeting. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Despite many stakeholders, such as the church, lawyers and politicians, saying President Edgar Lungu does not qualify to stand again in 2021, the head of state has officially applied to stand as PF party president, rendering the stakeholders' opinions as null and void. President Edgar Lungu showed off their sessions Wednesday morning when he presented his application to continue leading the PF as the party is due to hold its general conference. The head of state has since encouraged those aspiring to lead the nation at all levels to be humble. We have more in the following report.
Thousands of supporters Wednesday morning gathered at the Patriotic Front Party Secretariat as early as 07 hours for a program scheduled for 09 hours, waiting for President Lungu to file in his application to stand as president on the PF ticket. This is against concerns from members of the public and a few legal experts who say President Lungu is vying for the third term against the national constitution, which says, in a layman's language, a person can only be sworn in twice as president. However, the Patriotic Front stance is based on the fact that the Constitutional Court ruled in favor of President Lungu, adding that he still stands a chance to lead this country for the next 5 years once given an opportunity by the Zambian people. Well, that's a story for another day. Today's story is that the head of state can safely say he has filed in his application amid his widespread endorsement, which one would say applying for this position was simply a formality. Party Secretary General Davis Mwila received the application and was satisfied with the credentials.
The application letter signed by me and the document for the supporters. And as I was saying that we have to comply with Article 52D or 2. At this juncture, I want to inform the nation and the audience here that the president of the party, Dr. Edgar Lungu, has complied with Article 52. Yes! I thank you.
In speaking after filing in, President Lungu took to the stage to encourage all aspiring candidates to be good to the electorates.
You need to know that we wouldn't be here without you. Very important. My message to all of you who provide leadership in Zambia between 2021 and 2026 is that please remember the people who put us in power. When people say no, they don't want you, it's not your time. They rejected me. They opted for some color or somebody. I kept my time. I waited. 2006, I did not stand in Chawan, I did not stand anywhere, but I kept my faith that I went PF. When we got there, I gave them no college for Chawan. That's in history. So, all of you who are supporting PF now should know that there is time for everything. And there's time for you too. It's coming. But as long as you prove yourself as a worthy leader of the people, you get it. So I want to be very small and brief. I'll keep it short and simple. For our voter, never to vote population like Chefia, but we can build like Chefia. See that I don't want to like Chefia.
With that said and done, the stage was now open, with Presidential Affairs Minister Freedom Sikazwe reaffirming his smile in form of a dance this time with President Lungu side by side. Sharon Kalimbola, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Meanwhile, a clergy from Solwezi, Geoffrey Njolomba, has advised those saying the Constitutional Court has already ruled on President Lungu's eligibility to stop misleading Zambians. Pastor Njolomba, who is a member of the People of Destiny Church, but speaking in his own capacity, explains that the Concord has never pronounced itself on the matter.
Is the incumbent eligible to stand in 2021? The answer to question 2 is as follows, and I'm quoting it from here. They said, as regards the second question posed, the second question has become otiose, and we shall not consider it. Otiose. What's the meaning of otiose? It's serving no practical purpose or result. That's the meaning. It was not necessary. So as far as the Constitutional Court judges are concerned, they never said anything. Here's the written judgment. They never said a thing. They never said a thing concerning the eligibility of the incumbent in 2021. So those who are actually spreading the word that the matter is settled by the Constitutional Court judges, they are not telling the truth to the nation. This judgment here, which is in my hands now here, has answered the 2 questions as follows. It has described the period which the incumbent served for 1 year, 7 months as not constituting a full term. Number 2, they have declined answering, saying that question was not irrelevant, and we can't add any further.
And the opposition, All People's Congress, has lamented that it is difficult for the opposition to congratulate President Edgar Lungu for putting himself forward as a presidential candidate at their party nominations event, owing to the fact that his candidature to run for office of president for a 3rd time in a row still remains in a constitutional limbo. Party President Nelson Msoni says congratulating him at this stage would amount to encouraging and demonstrating contempt and ignorance of the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia. Mr. Msoni says the Constitution is very clear regarding the question of holding office, stating that President Lungu has already held office twice, hence he is ineligible to contest for the 3rd time. He says it is still not too late for Mr. Lungu to respect the Constitution and rescind his unconstitutional maneuver and intention of attempting to recontest for the 3rd time in a row.
Has not been dealt with. Insofar as the matter stands, the president remains ineligible to contest. That's what the law says. Anyone who has held office of president twice is ineligible to contest. So we think that his candidature remains in limbo because matters pertaining to his eligibility to contest are still complex, because clearly the Constitution does not allow anybody, not just President Lungu, but anybody who has held office twice. So until that aspect is dealt with, the president remains ineligible.
The opposition United Party for National Development, UPND, SESHEKE Member of Parliament Romeo Kangombe, who was arrested by the Zambia Police Service in October last year for assaulting 2 police officers, has been found guilty of the charge by the CHINSALI Magistrates Court. Mr. Kangombe is, however, expected to know his fate on the 12th of April 2021 as the court awaits to hear his mitigation. The SESHEKE lawmaker could not be sentenced as he went to court without his lawyer, Mulambo Haimbe. Mr. Kangombe was charged with 2 counts being abduction and assault. In the first charge, Mr. Kangombe was accused of abducting Sergeant Innocent Mwale and Constable Chinyama Chipango of Mununga Police Post on October 14, 2020, contrary to Section 253 and 255 of the Penal Code Cap 87 of the laws of Zambia. The court, however, discharged him on the charge of abduction and convicted him on a charge of assault. Mr. Kangombe is currently remanded at CHINSALI State Correctional Facility. Meanwhile, in Lusaka, the state has entered a NOLLE prosequi in a case in which Patriotic Front PF Lusaka Province Youth Chairman Daniel Kalembe stood charged of assaulting 2 PF cadres identified as Innocent Kalimanshi and Nathan Perry. Mr. Kalembe was accused of slicing the 2 PF cadres with a broken bottle of beer. In this case, allegations were that Kalembe had, on the 12th of March 2020, during Youth Day celebrations, assaulted the 2 victims as President Edgar Lungu was officiating at the event. Kalembe, who was supposed to commence his defense before court on the 7th of April 2021, after being found with a case to answer by the court in the last session, was nowhere near the court premises. However, information obtained indicates that Kalembe appeared before court on the 11th of March 2021, a day he was not supposed to appear, and the state entered a NOLLE in the case. You're watching Camnet TV News. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news.
You know I can take her a break.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You've heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia (ECZ) has extended the physical inspection of the Provisional Register of Voters for the purpose of verification of voter details. The extension of the physical inspection exercise will be conducted from the 3rd to the 7th of April 2021. If you are a registered voter and you need to correct details on your voter's card, go to the designated registration center and have your details corrected. During the inspection period, a registered voter can replace a lost, damaged, or defaced voter's card, transfer from one polling station to another, make a claim to be included in the Provisional Register of Voters if they were omitted. Remember to carry your voters and green national registration cards to inspect your details. If you are replacing a lost voter's card, carry your green national registration card and a police report. It is your right. It is your vote.
Because 2021, it is your time to vote. 2021, let's verify.
This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses. With only a few months remaining down to the ballot, the battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883 0979 753010 or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdicts.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Welcome back. The opposition United Party for National Development, UPND, says it will not tolerate its non-adopted aspiring candidates to contest as independent candidates. UPND chairperson for elections, Garen Kombo, says members must understand that the party can only adopt one candidate at a time. Mr. Kombo has meanwhile advised those who feel like misfits in the party to leave now as opposed to making last-minute decisions as a result of frustrations. He says the party has willingly opened doors to those who feel like they want to leave the party. Mr. Kombo explains that the party would not force anyone to cling to the organization even when their minds and hearts are elsewhere. Meanwhile, Mr. Kombo has clarified at a media briefing that Mbabala UPND Member of Parliament Ephraim Belemu, who defected to the ruling Patriotic Front on Tuesday, has been having issues of popularity in his constituency, urging him not to entangle the party in his failures. He has since advised those leaving the party to do so in peace, as opposed to maligning party president Hakainde Hichilema, who has nothing to do with their shortcomings.
Feel they have the muscle and they will not abide by these regulations that we put. The door is open, and we must not be misunderstood as chasing people, because we want with every stage that we are going to have candidates who have their first loyalty to the party rather than to themselves. We want candidates who have their loyalty first to the party and by extension to the country, and not only to themselves. So those who are harboring intentions of running to another political party, this is the time to do it. We will bid you farewell and wish you the best as 2021 12th August unfolds. We wish them well. That's all we can say from this end. Honorable Belemu, we shall surely miss him. We wish him well where he has gone. Do not forget, just don't forget that the issue of betrayal was the roadmap to salvation. It all began in the Garden of Gethsemane. I'm not a preacher man, but I'll tell you now that it took Judas Iscariot to betray for Jesus to be taken to Golgotha, for you and my sins to be forgiven. There are certain things that will happen along the way, and it's not in me to demonize those who have left. We can only wish them well. We can only wish them well. They've gone one by one. Those are not the Zambians. We would definitely miss them. We valued their contribution while they were here. And for those who intend to go now, please just go in peace. Because the Zambians are waiting for the 12th. Go in peace and don't be used by cheap PF mechanisms.
Forum for Democracy and Development FDD President Edith NAWAKWI says it has been very difficult for her to reconcile with certain political leaders in the country, whom she has described as being oppressive to women, the poor and marginalized. The FDD leader further says she can't reconcile with politicians who lack moral values and nationalism. Speaking in an interview, Ms. NAWAKWI further states that she does not see herself reconciling with politicians she has accused of being selfish and regional. Ms. NAWAKWI has since called for decency among politicians. She says decency is key in promoting national values and principles in the country. Ms. NAWAKWI states that followers of national leaders will only act according to how their leaders act, hence challenging other political leaders to begin demonstrating acts of decency in their political journey.
Who acquire wealth fraudulent. That's one. I don't have time for people who don't respect the lowest in our society. These people whom you always want to confront me with, so that you can continue to peddle your story that between me and this person there is this schism. This schism is something that you yourselves must resolve, because You need to confront him and say, where is your moral compass in the matters of the poor? In fact, what is happening in the UPND camp is what we call signs of our time. God is opening the space to give us these signs that some of us in our community are not worth the mantle of leadership for his people. Because if I have something I must share with the list of my brothers. To me, listen to me, there are no emotions in these issues. There are ideological differences. And the differences are between Dar es Salaam and Durban. There is absolutely no meeting of heads on this. Because I think that in politics we should have a bit of morality.
Caritas Zambia has charged that the COVID-19 pandemic has deepened inequalities in the country. Speaking in an interview with Camnet TV, Caritas Zambia Executive Director Eugene Kabilika explains that Zambia is already an unequal society which has been worsened by the impacts of COVID-19. He has attributed this to the fall in activity in many sectors of the economy, which have since closed due to the pandemic, which broke out in 2020. And Mr. Kabilika notes that Zambia has a low budget with regards to the social sectors such as health, education, among others, adding that many are now failing to access these facilities, resulting in the increase in the inequality gap. He has since called on the Zambian citizens to ensure that the COVID-19 measures are observed for the country to open up to normal activities.
Zambia statistics are hard to come by, especially latest ones. That can tell you exactly the impact of COVID-19 on the population at household level, and also, more importantly, those people who are living away from the cities, from a source of information. You can already see that COVID is having a great impact on people's lives. First of all, when COVID began, if you remember, there were restrictions and businesses were, constrained from opening. You talk about bars, talk about the tourism industry, talk about those who are in the service industry such as lodges and all that. Those were restricted. So their business there was on slow, if you like. And if you can imagine that these industries employ people, and these people have families. It means they are not making money. I know of some lodges that send their workers on leave, and they haven't even come back to normal up to this point in time since last year. So the impact is greater. Now, what that means with the gap between the rich and the poor is that it's going to exponentially begin to widen. Why? Because those that don't have enough resources in terms of their income has dwindled much, and those perhaps that are able to, they keep on to they might not have lost any much. They have been maybe affected, but if they are very prudent in the way they run their businesses, they would not lose much. Which means that while the rich might stagnate, the poor will slide down, and then moving the gap between the rich and the poor wider.
National Health Insurance Management Authority, NEMA Director General James Kapesa, says the authority has made tremendous strides in making sure that all accredited members access medical health at registered health facilities. Speaking to Camnet TV, Mr. Kapesa says currently the authority has over 1,000 people registered under the scheme, with a number of private health facilities accrediting to offer the services. He says while the authority is still facing teething challenges, he is hopeful that in 2 years' time, the authority will have over 3,000 people registered. The NEMA Director General also reviews that in line with its mandate of enhancing government's agenda of providing universal health coverage, some private pharmacies have also been accredited to ensure that medicines are sold at competitive prices to the clients.
The aged, those that are 65, they register with NEMA, but they are exempt from pay. What are the things that we have achieved? So far, close to about 1 million members have been registered. 142 healthcare facilities are now providing services under NEMA. The benefit package is already rolled out. 10 provincial offices have been opened. Idea is to ensure that NEMA spreads across the provinces and into the districts. Of course, any project this size has teething problems. One of the challenges is service delivery and quality at our hospitals, our partners. There are times when our members go to hospitals and they do not find medication. There are times our members go to hospital and they take longer. There are times that they are admitted and they are unable to receive NEMA differentiated services. Partnering with hospital leaderships, we have for the last 1.5 years been interacting. Some of you will have started seeing that waiting times for NEMA patients have progressively become shorter.
You're watching Camnet TV main news, not just another channel. We'll be back with more news after the break.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Well, Amwandi, you know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets.
Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin. Are you a qualified, impartial and professional journalist, news editor, video editor or newscaster? Camnet TV is looking for more professionals in the media industry. For more details, call 0962 965883 or send your details to our email info@camnettvafrica.com. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. In international news, 6 Southern African presidents will hold emergency talks on the crisis in Mozambique on Thursday. The Southern African Development Community SADC has said the meeting in the country's capital Maputo will deliberate on measures to address terrorism. The presidents of Mozambique, Malawi, Tanzania, Botswana, South Africa and Zimbabwe are expected to attend. Dozens of civilians were killed and at least 11,000 displaced after militants invaded Palma on the 24th of March. SADC's chairperson, President Mokwetsi Masisi of Botswana, said the attacks were an affront to the peace and security of Mozambique, the region and the international community. The Mozambique's military has said that Palma is now completely safe, and local media report that residents are gradually returning.
There was a summit in Gaborone a few months ago where the government of Mozambique was expected to attend at the highest level. That did not happen, and the own SADC summit scheduled to take place last month in Maputo was postponed, seen a date. So for us, it is good that President Masisi has said that, but currently it seems that SADC is not moving in the right direction.
Now, what would it take to convince Mozambique and Mozambicans that SADC is now moving in the right direction? You've mentioned one, a solidarity statement that is written and expressed properly. What else?
Next would be to condemn the use by Mozambique of the private military groups. You will know that within SADC and the African Union, there is a protocol that condemns the use of private military groups by member states. That is not happening, and we would like to see that, showing that SADC is concerned with that, as you know, some of the actions by private military groups have led to violations of human rights, and that SADC, as a multilateral regional body, is prepared now to intervene in a robust way. So what I'm saying is not only a statement, but also to condemn some of the bad practices that we see from Mozambique's response to the conflict in Cabo Delgado.
That's going to be a very interesting one because Mozambique is a member of SADC. I haven't seen SADC in the history of SADC since 1980.
It's now time for sports news. The Volleyball Association of Zambia has increased the number of teams to be part of the National League from 13 to 16 this year. Association President Nakaonga Kakoma says the National Volleyball League, which was founded in 2019, has greatly contributed to the growth of the sports fraternity in the country. Speaking during a media briefing in Lusaka Wednesday, Kakoma is happy that Canaan Group International Zambia Limited has come on board as the main sponsor of the league. Speaking at the same event, Canaan Group President Sean Nota says the company wants to contribute to the growth of volleyball in Zambia.
In Zambian history, we had about 6 teams representing Zambia in the Zone 6 tournament, which for us that was an achievement. The National League opened up a way for the formation of a B League in different provinces, and this has increased not only the number of teams playing volleyball in the country, but also individuals as well. This year, we expect about 16 teams to take part in the National League, and Canaan Group International Zambia has just come at the right time. And we are also grateful for this partnership we and Canaan will be in, as Canaan will be the main sponsor for the National Volleyball League. We would like to thank the sponsor, Canaan Group International Zambia Limited, for coming on board as a main sponsor for our National League, and we are confident that our partnership is the beginning of good things to come for both volleyball and Canaan Group International. We are actually calling upon a lot of corporates to come on board and support us and come and sponsor. Canaan, of course, is the main sponsor, but we are calling upon other corporate companies to come through and support us in achieving a successful league.
Those talented Zambians can have an opportunity to be able to express their talent at the highest height possible. We are an organization that firmly believes in education and collaborative activities. So there are some networking opportunities that we're definitely going to be fostering between local Zambian clubs and some European volleyball clubs to encourage the sport, to encourage collaboration, to encourage aggressiveness towards how we as a nation perceive the sport. So it's a privilege for us to actually be part of this, and as correctly stated, we really hope that as many hands as possible come together to ensure that the sport becomes a top sport. I think we've identified the amazing work that has been done, the notable achievements that have been done.
As we end Camnet TV News, we take a look at the stories making headlines once more. President Edgar Lungu describes himself as a humble leader serving Zambians. CHINSALI court convicts SESHEKE UPND MP for assaulting 2 gun-carrying police officers as court discharges a PF cadre via a NOLLE. NAWAKWI refuses to reconcile with named political leaders whom she accuses of being oppressive. And in international news, 6 presidents plan urgent talks on Mozambique crisis. In sports, Volleyball Association increases the number of teams to its league from 13 to 16. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Colossians 4, verse 5 to 6, and it reads, "Act wisely toward outsiders, making the most of the time. Your speech should always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you should answer each person." That's all we had in our news. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.